Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Farm Sim 25, and welcome back to our Calm Land Survival Challenge. My name is Spartan Elite 43, and tonight it's September. The end of summer draws near, and that means it's time to replant our wheat field before the winter. So let's go ahead and get that started. We're going to jump in the big old fence over here, and we're going to go grab our planter. And we're going to get this party started. Now, before we grab the planter, though, if you guys remember correctly, I did recently grab one of these little bars, and I'm pretty confident that this bar will allow us to plant faster. That planter is limited to 7 miles an hour normally, but I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to go a little bit faster than that. So that's what we're going to try. Oh god. Well, that was unexpected. Okay, so don't turn too sharp, apparently. This little tractor, it's powerful. It will absolutely yeet itself. Let's go ahead and unfold. Now, one of the things that I want to look at is to check our pH of this field. So let's go ahead and get into that real quick. So this field looks like it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. pH wise, everything. It says pH is bad. You can see it is kind of a little bit, but I think we'll be okay. Obviously, nitrogen will get done while we do this. All right, let's go ahead and set it up for steering assist. We are going to do just one headlands pass. Wait, what? Oh, it's because we were set on soybeans. Thank goodness. All right, we want wheat. Let's try that. There we go. Much better. So as you can see, now we kind of override the speed of the tool, which is set to 7 miles an hour. This is definitely going to help as we get into bigger fields. But this being a direct drill, I don't have to cultivate. I can just straight drill with this. Going forward, if we need to do multiple, we could do multiple planters with no real issue. And that will, each planter will essentially double our working speed. Oh, you can see there will be slight issues when you cheese the gate, okay? Just keep that in mind as we completely screwed the pooch on that corner. Now you can obviously, if you wanted, set the cruise control to slow it down and keep it within reason. We'll set it to 24 for now. Or maybe even 21. Given that that's 3 times faster than this planter normally goes. go to the map. Let's get down to the end. We'll come back. But today, I think, is the day we're going to be expanding once again. We're going to be adding either a new field, or we are going to be potentially thinking about bringing our first animals in. I'm not sure yet. Our first cattle field. Not animals, because we already have chickens. Again, you got to be careful when you turn around with this particular tractor. It is very capable of whipping around and then just binding up on the actual planter. But as you can see, this works like a charm. You may have to adjust the height of the tool depending on like the terrain that you're on. Because as you saw when we first started out, we were digging the ladder in the back into the ground, which was not allowing us to pull properly. Why did it not drop it? I hit the button to drop it. There we go. But this also allows you guys to see it in real time as well, how long it takes to plant. We're going 3 times faster than we would normally be able to plant with this thing. And yeah, so this is one of our smaller field, or this is our smallest field. So you can see how it would get a little bit crazy pretty quickly. But once we get this planted, we will be good to go forward to harvest our soybeans. Which happens in October. Now, one of the other things that I need to look into is what year or what month we sell wheat in, because our wheat right now, like, we've got a lot of wheat stored up. We've got several tens of thousands of liters in our trailer, as well as an entire harvest in the silo. And we could sell some of that because we're not going to need all of it right away. And we're growing it every single year. So that might be something I look into, is selling some wheat. That'll help give us a little bit extra money as well. It's not a huge amount of money. We don't get a huge amount off of this field. Or I could just save it for a couple of years. No reason to get real crazy about selling right now. We also don't have a second trailer, and our trailer currently has wheat in it to feed the chickens. So there's that. I think buying a second trailer is something we're going to need to do in the near future anyway. Because we are going to have cattle, and we're going to have to haul TMR and stuff to the cattle. But man, those soybeans are looking pretty good over there, aren't they? Kind of missed a spot there, but that'll be alright. Not that big of a deal. But I rarely show you guys, like, the actual, like, full planting and stuff in real time. And I guess this isn't technically real time. This would be like planting in 3 times speed. But I like to try to get as much done per episode as possible. That's why I tend to time-lapse stuff. You guys seem to enjoy the music that I put in for the time-lapses as well. But I could do time-lapses. I could do jump cuts to try to squeeze as much into each episode as possible. Now, I had initially started saving all of the episodes to do a supercut for the first 10 episodes, and upon trying, it ended up taking 6 hours, and it ended up not actually working. So, yeah, back to the drawing board on that. So I don't think I'll be doing any supercuts. I don't know if my computer can handle it. It takes way too long. I mean, it's 9 hours of video almost. It takes way too long. And then if it's going to fail after that long, it's just tying up resources. Which is not ideal. Because by now you guys have figured out that I have a lot of work I do every day. Between World of Warships Legends, Farm Sim, plus any streams that I do. It gets a bit hectic at times. Trying to keep up with my schedule. But as you guys can see, I mean, we're one pass away from finishing this field. It has only taken us 12 minutes since the beginning of the stream, or since the beginning of the episode. So I would say that is a success. If we take it at face value and say that we did this 3 times faster, then normally it would... Oh, that's why it was going kind of slow. Still had it down. But if we did it 3 times faster than we would normally be able to do it, then that means that this would normally take about 36 minutes. And we just did it in 13. I will go ahead and hit this one spot, otherwise it's going to drive me crazy. I'm sure it'll drive you guys crazy too. Alright, let's fold that up. Get out of the field. We will have to use the weeder on it next month. Fent is doing a fantastic job so far. It's a bit twitchy with being a tracked vehicle that is literally like very short length, so it turns on a dime. But you get used to it after a minute. It's not too bad. All right, let's go ahead and put the planter down. We'll use the case for the weeder, so don't have to do anything too crazy there. All right. Yeah, we should be good to go forward another month. Now we got $103,000 in the bank. I didn't look. Is there anything in here that we need? Not particularly. There's a sprayer, but we use weeders instead of sprayers. Everything else should still be good. We will have to mow next month as well. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Let's drop it back to 10 o'clock. Go forward into October. I just thought about it. If we're going to have to mow this month, then we're going to have to use the case for mowing. Which means it might be a good idea to start looking at a potential, like, better mower. We got $144,000 in the bank. Our chickens are doing just fine. I might as well hook up to the thing and dump some food out for them. that real quick. Went ahead and filled up the tractor with fuel before we started the episode because it was almost out. But yeah, you can see we got 76,000 liters already still in this trailer. And we barely use any. But before we start mowing, the mower that we currently have is a 7-something meter working width. I think it's just a 7 meter working width. It's got the ability to swath and everything, which is nice. And it does do 15 miles an hour, but I would like to see if there's something else that we could do that's a little bit quicker. So let's look into mowing. So if we go to Grassland Care, go to Mowers, it's going to have to be something big. Now this mower here is only a little bit bigger than what we currently have, so that's not really going to do us any good. Don't really want something that big. I think the next, honestly, I don't think there's really anything we can do that's going to help us get a bigger mower. So I think we're kind of stuck with what we got. So let's get them started then. Alright, let's give him... let him do his thing. The next thing we need to do is take our harvester. We got to fix the harvester and the header to make sure that we maintain it at a high quality. I don't want to be losing yield. Very cheap to maintain if you stay on it. Let's get this thing over and harvest some soybeans, shall we? Wheat field's looking pretty rough. Speaking of, maybe we'll grab the Fent and have AI work on weeding that field real quick. Shouldn't take him too long. Oh yeah, we've got the bar on there. We can't have that now, can we? Go ahead and drop that real quick. So that we can hook up to this. There we go. Unfold. Apparently we missed a spot on the corner. I wasn't paying attention. But we'll get AI working on that, and we'll head over and do our first soybean harvest. Alright, there we go. I don't know why it didn't work the first time. He'll go through and get all the weeds done for us while we go harvest all the soybeans. Fortunately, this road takes us right there. A bit rough, but gets us over there. Look at this big old field of soybeans. It'll be beautiful. All right. So we got our soybeans all harvested. We ended up getting 69,000 liters. Nice. It's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping to get closer to 90,000 liters, but I guess that's gonna do. It's not bad, and it's a funny number, so there you go. But as you can see, that only took us about 30 minutes, which means our AI friend up here mowing the grass is about 30 minutes away from finishing mowing. The other thing is, we actually got rain in the schedule for today, and I didn't really notice until it popped up on the thing. You may have seen me check it during the time lapse. But yeah, needless to say, we were able to get the harvest done in time, which is perfect. Now, as long as he gets the grass done before the rain starts, we'll be golden. Let's get these put over here, stored in our silo. Has a decent unload speed, so we don't have to go too crazy here. Alright. Pull this away. Now, one thing that we could look for is potentially getting a larger header for this thing. Might not be the worst idea we've ever had. But we'll cross that road when we get there. But for now, it's doing the job that we needed to do. Let's go jump in the fent. Fold up the weeder. Get this put away. Now, we did say we were going to take and grab some silage additive for the forage wagon. So I think we'll jump in the fence, take the forage wagon up to the top of the store. Boy, this thing is twitchy. Like, you try to adjust your cruise control on the fly and suddenly you're doing a donut. We'll leave the bar there for now because we only need that really when we do our planting. What I will do is actually put this right in front of the planter so that we don't lose it. You guys just remind me that before we hook up to our planter that this is right here in front of it. We'll need to pick it up because it's going to kind of sit in the grass. It'll be hard to see. Alright, let's get this thing up to the store. We'll fill it up with some silage additive. We want to check and see if silage additive actually does anything. I think it's supposed to give like an extra 5% yield. Hopefully you guys wrote that number down in the comments in yesterday's video. I want to say it was 900,000. Which would equal, what, 45,000 extra liters, potentially? If we're getting 900,000 liters of grass out of this, then we should get about 950,000 liters. If it works. And again, that's a big if. I don't know if it will or not. We will go ahead and buy it, though, while we're thinking about it. It'll be under consumables for grassland, which is silage additive. 1 pallet should do. I don't know how much this thing will take. I don't think silage additive takes, like, you don't take a lot of silage additive. Usually. But I like this little tractor, man. Yeah, it's a bit squirrely. But she's got all the power that you could ever ask for. Gets the job done nicely. And she just destroys these hills, which is perfect, because that's what we needed her for. These hills are brutal, man. Told you we were going to need horsepower for these hills. When we first started, I was like, I think we're going to need some horsepower. But we needed some horsepower. We've been struggling the entire series with horsepower, or the lack thereof. Alright, let's see if we can't put some silage additive in this thing. Perfect. There's that turning circle again. Dude, this, I'm pretty sure this thing could just turn directly on itself. Like there's no like turning circle. So whatever the wheelbase is, or the track base I should say. We'll get this down there and get ready to pick up the field. Won't take us too long. Honestly, it's going to take us longer to wait for that guy to finish up than it is to actually get it done. But it seems like our new field's going to do pretty well for us in terms of overall yield. A good chunk of that field is like 120+% when it comes to yield bonus, so we'll take that. Can't argue with that. Seems like the ground around here is pretty good so far. Just look at that view though, man. You got the grass field over here, the harvested soybean field over there. Everything looks so good. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this on. Pick this up real quick. You see, it is actually consuming silage additive, so whatever, I mean, it should be giving us some sort of yield boost, in theory. Alright, so we just got everything picked up, and as you can see, we used less than half of a pallet of the silage additive. And we have gone from, I believe it was 906,000 liters the previous year to 963,000 liters this year. Now there's going to be a little bit of flux between years with the precision farming and all that, depending on fertilization, lime, all that stuff. But the main takeaway is it actually did increase the yield, for sure. So I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and get this unloaded. Ain't gonna lie, I like that insta unloading too. Pretty nice. But the AI is working on getting our field nice and purdied up for the next time. We have done everything we needed to do in this episode. Let's go ahead and save real quick because we've done a lot of work today. If we look at our fermenting silo, you can see that we currently have 1.1 million liters of grass, meaning we are absolutely using more, or we are making more grass than we are able to turn into silage before the next one. Now, that being said, it's about to be winter, so hopefully we'll get through all this grass before the next year. But we're at least into that neighborhood of starting to outproduce our capability. Now, we were making hay before, but now we don't have to do that. So we're doing pretty well in that case. In terms of water, solid fertilizer, and seeds, our two gardens are doing just fine. We don't have to worry about them. Our water pump, I did get rid of one of the water pumps because it turns out that this fermenting silo is only stopping at 2 million instead of going up to the 12 million. I don't know why it suddenly says that it has 12 million. I'm assuming it's because of the other silo, but everything's fine there. The next thing that we need to think about is wheat. We were talking about potentially selling off wheat. Now, we know we have 84,000 liters in the silo. We can sell that for, we'll call it $395 per 1,000 liters. So if we take 84.4 and then multiply that by 395, That's going to give us about $33,000. So honestly, we can hold on to it. I'm not too worried about that. The chickens are doing just fine. Soybeans, on the other hand, we do have some soybeans. We have 69,000 liters of soybeans that will sell in June for about 1,100. So let's take, what we say, 69,000? 69 times 1186. That's going to be another $81,000 in the bank. So not a bad harvest overall. And I'm looking forward to selling off some silage. We're gonna be expanding in the next episode as well. I may end up getting a bigger header for our harvester. That header's starting to feel a little tiny. We could go with a little bit bigger one. It's currently a 6 meter working width. We could go with one of the other bigger ones. This is the TARDIS that we're currently using. But these toll height adjustable ones should be perfect for what we need. Or we could use the Colossus version. Right here, the Titan header. $72,600 gives us 16 meter working width. Says 10 miles an hour, but it will allow us to go faster than that. Now, I don't know if this little harvester will be able to keep up with that, or if we will end up having to upgrade to a bigger harvester. But if we do go with the bigger harvester, we're probably going to go straight for the Lizard Colossus, just to be done with it. It's going to be $309,000. We ain't anywhere near that at this point, but something to consider. The other thing is, if we want to get more mowing done, the other thing that we need to consider is a potential forage harvester. That'll be the next thing that would get us the most, and we could go with this Lizard forage harvester for $300,000. Everything's so expensive, man. I feel like we are on the cusp of being able to break away, but yeah. Ideally, we want to be able to turn this thing into being able to harvest all of our grass quicker, right? Because right now, the thing that's slowing us down is that everything that we own is taking, or every field that we do is 30 minutes to an hour. So it just takes time. And that time is stuff that we could be spending on expanding and stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I definitely want to expand, but I also want to be able to do all the fields and stuff in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm kind of at a crossroads here. Do I go for expanding into better equipment, or do I go for just expanding the land first? Let me know what you guys think, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.